Okay, Bevan Bird here. How you doing? I've been guided to create this thing for you out of love. Now, you have to understand what I mean by that. When I say love, I mean the higher perspective. I don't mean lust or, what's the other one? Infatuation. Okay, so these are Space Babes. This is one which I actually edited. I removed the headphones. See, when I created this AI art, I didn't ask for headphones, alright? And so here's one where I've edited it, I've removed this part. You still might see the shape of the headphone. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the first part of this is look through this folder and choose an image. Choose an image or two. Maybe we'll narrow it down to one. Alright, so what's this background story with this here? Why would we be creating this today? Okay, so to explain this, and this is one of them, of course, is one of the main images. Of course, otherwise, why would I have edited it? Or I mean, why wouldn't I have? Well, no, why did I? Right? So we'll just leave that one up on the screen for now while we mention this. So Jay Matthews with New Earth Keepers of the Light, that's the free community, and quantumsoulcode.com and the portal. And I did the Abundance Code journey earlier this year with her. I'm talking about. So anyway, and then she doesn't look like this. This is a different person, right? We're not talking about that. I'm just saying this art. So I'm letting you know the story behind this, okay? So she did an activation today, and that is for the opening of the Eclipse corridor. I keep saying portal, but it's corridor. All right, so what's the idea here? Love, right? She is a conduit of love. And what is love? She told us what it was, actually, in the Architecting Reality Challenge, which is in the portal. And that is a higher perspective. If you see things the way your higher self, or God, which is yourself, or source, right, your non-physical self, which is eternal, sees things, then it is love. It's from a high perspective. So how you see things, absolutely. So that would be letting go of all the negative ways that we see ourselves, for example, and the way we look at the world. And whatever we see in the world with the darkness, that is all a reflection of what we have in ourself. So then we have the opportunity to work with the shadow. And that's a higher perspective, right? And so, yeah, she brings love to the world, and we can all radiate it. And it is a natural thing. And so, anyway, what I had mentioned though was that she was wearing something orange. It was actually not as shiny as this one, but you'll see different things in here. Of course, we could just scroll through it randomly or in order, but obviously there's different shades of orange in here. This is a bit more of a red color. This one here is obviously orange. Some will be shinier than others. I'm not sure where the headphones came from. I never asked for headphones. Oh yeah, there's that one, right? This is what it looks like before editing, before removing the headphones, right? Which I edited off of it. So that was it. That was part of an experiment, right? By editing that out and then trying to make variations from the other one, which is the version of this without the headphones. We would see if we can actually make it work and not have the headphones on. But what's funny is that the way that this manifested in reality is that she is wearing headphones, but they're not orange though. They would be black or gray or something like that. But the shirt was orange. And also there was a white shirt underneath, not nothing. Now here we have, is this one? I think this is this one. Here's another one, a different one, right? It's another orange. But I don't know, I literally don't know where the headphones came from. You may notice also that some of them do not have headphones. And these are also a different shape. They're kind of funny up there. Anyway, so when did I make these? I don't know. Months ago. We will find that out. Once I switch on my internet, we will actually discover that. And so what are we doing here offline, right? What the heck are we doing? Well, I'm looking through the folder, and I'm going to pick one because I mentioned to her, Jay Matthews, right, at the end of the activation, that I actually made art like this months ago. We don't know how long, but we'll find out. And then she ended up looking like that, which is funny because of wearing the orange and having the headphones on, where I had created a thing. I may have actually said to make it orange, right? But I didn't say to have headphones, and that just appeared anyway, right? Also, you might see right here there's a little bit of a glitch, that little white part underneath the eye, right? But then the eyes also look weird, and you'll see that through many of them if you take a look. We can just quickly look. These ones at the beginning have a different name. these are the actual images that are generated, like right down here. You can see be the cheetah, etc., etc. It just starts with the beginning of the prompt, like bright neon blue hair, professional acrylic painting, etc. And then it's got the job ID, right, which we can use to get back to that. So we'll be using that. We'll be going to the job ID, going online, and finding the information. So these at the very beginning that have a different name, they're just like clipped from other ones or edited. So that's one of those, for example, where I took off the headphones, and so I've replaced in part of the hair with the color of the hair, right? That's just to mock it in. But then it still has this shape up here, which we could try to fix, right? But yeah, this is just the way I did it in the past. And then you could then input this image and iterate from here, and thus not have headphones. Or we could put in -- no headphones using Midjourney. It's just some other one with the pyramid in the ocean, actually, in a tropical place. The pyramid is in the ocean or a pool. I think it's the ocean, though. And this other one, right? And that is from one of those other ones with the babes, the flowers, the jungle, and the pyramid. You can see a few of those at the bottom. These are just heads or faces, right? Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, so you can see a few of those with the pyramids down here. This is actually, I won't click on this one here, so you don't have to see that one. But here, this is one that I may have started with, of putting those together. And they're all AI images. It was Midjourney 3, and this one is remastered, so it may have been version 4 or a beta thing, because 4 didn't exist at the time, but it makes it a lot more realistic, right? And these would have been non-remastered. At least, well, that could have been, but I don't think it was. This is remastered, this isn't. Okay, and so when I took this and I continued from these ones, say, I'll show 4 here. There's actually more, but we only have 4 saved in this folder. There's actually a lot more. You'd have to go on my profile. So you can see these right here. And so we can have infinite ones. We can have uniqueness at scale. When I got into AI art originally to make NFT collections. So we can do that, uniqueness at scale. Each one's unique and every part of it changes. And what else? Right, so I took this and brought it back up to date later. When I used something from Midjourney 3 or 4, well, it was 3 back then, right? But I had remastered them, and then you'd get results like what you're seeing here. But they get a lot better. Like, look at the eye right here, right, for example. It actually gets a lot better than this later as well. And so we'll see a lot of strange eyes if we go in and if we look closely at what we have created in the past. Right? It's just, it's only what it could do, right? It's the best that it could do. So you'll see some pretty strange things. And look at this also. Well, I mean, some will be better than others, but look at this part right here, right? For example, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now what we have, when I took things from, say, version 3 and then remastered them later, I thought I would get kind of the same thing as I did back then. But no, remastering from an earlier version brings it to the most latest version, like Midjourney 5.2. So then it changed completely. So I'll show you what happened when I took something from one of these and brought it up to date, either just imagining the prompt again or remastering one of the earlier ones. And what that ends up being would be, well, we'll open another thing because we still want to be there, otherwise we'll have to come back to it. Yeah, so here we can see 17, 18, and 19. Those are just examples of it. So this is when I brought it up to date in version 5 or 5.2 or whatever it was. Yeah, there's also another one down here too. I have one more of those here. But there's actually a whole bunch, right? I was just selective. I don't know if we're even putting this in the collection. It doesn't matter, right? But I did already say that these 3 are in there, so we can't do anything about that because they are, right? So that's 17, that's 18, and that's 19. There's nothing really we can do about that. Plus, I already edited a little bit of them. But back then, you had to do that if you wanted to get rid of the watermark, right? I edited them manually, like a little piece down here, same in this other one, somewhere around there, and probably maybe in that one too. But now we have vary region, so we can automatically fix a part. Like, for example, in this one, there's an extra leg, which I didn't see at first, but it's, I'd say this one here, depending on whether you think that it's supposed to be this one or that one. But, yeah, based on where she's standing in the direction, I'd say this is the right leg, that's the left leg. Take this one out, that part there, you can just use Vary Region now, so you don't actually even have to edit the image, right? Okay, cool. All right, so now we'll just move on to the next step. So I'm just going to pick one. Well, as we look through, we can pick one. I could go with this, which I've already edited, but as we said, it doesn't matter about the headphones because we can leave the headphones on. And what I'm going to do is pick one, and we'll have the headphones still on or whatever. It doesn't matter if the headphones are on or not. And then I will just, well, yeah, I can't exactly swap Jay's face onto it, right? Without permission, because to do that I would have had to upload her image, right? So we can't actually do that. So we'd have to leave it without swapping her face on. Although we can do it, but we'll only do it with permission. So I'll just show her the thing that I made without bothering to do a face swap. Okay, so you're seeing what I'm talking about here as we look through. Look at the strange eyes, right? This is from quite a while ago. So you're gonna see. We're going to also find out what that date was, when these were actually created, but we know that it was Midjourney 3, yeah, version 3. Okay, and so I asked for some kind of gold thing. The clothes were supposed to be gold, intricate, ornate costume or whatever, orange gold or something like that. And in some it would be silver. And so yeah, for some reason you get the headphones. The order of these does not apply, like is irrelevant. Okay, and this is probably from a different prompt. And you can see this is silver. This is the silver shaped colored one rather than gold. Back to, well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. This could be gold or silver, right? There's something going wrong in here, but you can also do Vary Region. So it's from quite a while ago. This is the silver one, and go back to gold again. Oh yeah, right. We can go back to day 9 from the very beginning with Midjourney. And you'll see inspiration for these. Oh, and I should show you an inspiration like from the past, something I didn't create, right? Someone that inspired me. That would be Mobius. Let's see. Oh yeah, and what is this, right? Well, these are space babes. Here it says pyramid nature babe. That's because that's what we're looking at down here. These things. So there's actually quite a few, but here we only have 4. Okay, so that's what that folder's about. But Space Babes, let's go back to day 9, as well as the some inspiration for it. We won't look at this one here. So we need to go back. Yeah, right, so day 9. Okay, so you can see these. All right. Oh yeah, better get rid of this silly thing that pops up here. It'd be good to change the setting for that so it doesn't show up. Okay, I don't know what happened here. This is actually a strange thing that happened with what we were talking about in the previous one over here with these. This what I just showed you with the statue is a kind of strange, kind of outtake or something there, where it created a statue and these pillars. I mean, maybe someone might say it's not a statue, it's a woman, but the skin's pretty white. I think it's a statue. Maybe, I mean, someone could have skin that white, but it's more likely to be a statue, right? And you've also got the pillars. The pyramid is out there. It's in the jungle. And then it's like grassy, and then you can see the ocean out there too. All right. All right, so we're going through here. So yeah, where did this come from? As well as one with a kind of bike and handlebars, right? Which you'll see. Well, they came from this, right? We'll continue on here. There's only a couple more. So these are a few from, that's a good one. And remember, this is from the very beginning, so back in September 2022. But with Midjourney 3, right? And it would be it'd be a remaster, right? At least I think so. Okay. So there's these different ones. We also have like a moon or a planet up there behind, and this other one there. Yeah, that's like an Earth behind her. Okay, so that's what I created there. Now if we go back to inspiration, we'll try the experiments folder, which shouldn't really exist anymore. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is a different thing. You can still see it though. It doesn't have a lot in it. There's a little tiny one, I guess, first. Yeah, okay, right. So Space Babe. Let's see what we have here. 3 different things, variations. All right, it's just variations of one specific one. This could be some kind of weapon or some kind of musical instrument, right? And I don't know what kind of strange contraption that this gold stuff is, right? And then we also have, I upscaled one, and then I made variations of that. The experiment there was, if you do variations of a small image, which wasn't upscaled yet, and I showed a few, and then here we've upscaled the image, and then we've made variations of those. We're just trying to learn something from it as by example. So now if we look at the variations of that upscaled one, here's what we get. And I think it's actually a strange hand that it's doing. See, there's the hand, you can see the fingers, it's a little, it's pretty messed up. This one here is like a robotic hand or something. Okay, so those are variations. She looks in different directions, as you can see here, right? It's just variations. Alright, so now, what about the inspiration? Mobius. Okay, let's see if we can find, yeah, that's right there. Okay, it's just a tiny little thing, but then I'm going to have to, basically, because now it's copyright, right? So now I'll have to show you where this comes from. This is a little clip out of a bigger piece of an image. And this blonde babe is riding on a some kind of creature in space, or on a planet, like a beetle. It's either in space or just on an alien planet. So I'll find the actual source, and we'll look at it on that website, and you'll see, you'll see more of the scene here. So we can use even small things like that, which is just a few pixels, right, to inspire an entire collection, which is Space Babes, coming soon, coming in the future, not really soon. Okay, so I will then show you where that comes from, and it's Mobius, and then we'll continue here, and then when we pick one, then I will maybe bring it up to date, potentially, right, using a new version of Midjourney, and show it to Jay, or just pick one of them and show it to her. But I was going to face swap, but we won't do that because we get permission first. Okay, so we search Mobius art. This is how I'm spelling Mobius. You can see here the style of his art, psychedelic fantasy and realism. It's a pen name for John Gerard. He also has other art that he does under his name, I think, instead, for Blueberry or something like that. I don't mean his name, I mean the other thing. But the stuff for Mobius has a smaller audience, but he got more playful in his style with it. So the pure love and joy of creation, which is what we do in Unleash the Artist Within. Okay, and so the next thing I'll show you will be the actual image. Okay, so here's what we have, and it actually is on this site right here. Oh, I think I just scrolled by it, actually. I was not paying the closest attention. Actually, last time I scrolled down here, I did see it. Yeah, there we go. This one right here. Okay, but what's it called, right? I don't know. It just says JP Carousel. Oh, that's his name. John... It says John Gerard, and this just says JP. It's not the same thing, but anyway, Carousel 121237. So we'll just have to share the link to this. Actually, yeah, see, it's just on here. So we don't know what that's called, but we can do a Google image. We can search Google based on the image itself, and see where else this image shows up, if anywhere. Okay, so I'll just try it like this here with Google on this tab, in this window, and then this over here, and we'll just drag it in over there like that, or you just download it and upload it here, but you should be able to drag it across. It doesn't work, actually. Well, no, once we're here you should be able to do it. No, it's because of the website. That's fine. Well, see, we can't even save it. Now if you look at this part right here with that little sliver of it, the way that shape is, that shows us a photograph of art, maybe in a book. So this is a copy itself, and it's a slightly off, right? So it's tilted a little bit because of this part here. But anyway, you can't like right click it and save it. You can do like inspect element or whatever, but all we have to do is do a kind of a screenshot. So I'll just do like Shift Windows S and then grab this part here, and then we will save it and upload it in here. Okay. Okay, just go here. Okay, so it's mentioning butterfly here. There's two parts to this when you search Google Lens. There's what happens when you first put this in, and then stuff shows up on the right, and there we are. This is the one right here I was looking at, IAMAG, this thing. But then you'll see there's more, and this post may have multiple ones in it too. This might work here too. There's going to be a whole bunch. Someone was looking for things. Flowers drawn by Mobius. A study of it. I'm not sure if there's something that's going to talk about this specific one, but obviously it doesn't matter. You can just see that it's being used in a bunch of places there. And what's this? It's something... he's also done this, right? He made this too. This is just a different one that's not the same as this here. Okay, and then there's one with flowers done by Mobius also. He's got these cool flying things, these kind of birds that people fly on, but you'll see more of those inside that over here. Yeah, you'll see more of them in here. But anyway, that doesn't matter. It's an aside. You can see a couple of them here. There's actually wires sticking out of this thing though, which gives you a hint. And there's one in there. And a dude, kind of a monk dude, because you can see how he's sitting on top of that thing. And there's other ones with those, but you know, you can explore this yourself because I give you the link to this, and of course the specific one like that. But oh yeah, so anyway, over here there's two different things. There's this way, and you can go to these individual pages, hold down Control, click or whatever, but you can also try the Find Image Source, and we can also select down to less of it. And yeah, that's going to that website where we were, right? So that tells you what it is, but it's just going to that file. It doesn't actually tell you what it's called. This though is like, you know, Magical Future number 6. It says right here. Yeah, and that one says mermaid, but whatever. This is someone else's thing. And there's a poster. Okay, but that's people making a product out of the art, right? And then also you could, like, I'm not sure what happens if you do this, right? If we just select down to a smaller part of it, what will happen if we then click this button? Well, actually, it's going to update this part here though on the left, even just by what we select as well. So it's really cool to search based on the visual image. And Mobius butterfly wallpaper. So she's riding on a huge butterfly apparently. What's this? Alright, and then if I click Find Image Source, you'll get a different result than what we saw on the left, potentially. Okay, so that's just for out of interest. So right here it's showing Futures Magics 6, so now we know. There you go, if that's true, right? You can see some other ones here also, and he is influential in science fiction as an artist, and others emulated him. So there you go, now you know. Okay, and therefore, see, now I know how to give credit because now we know what it is, and this is the name of it. And here you can see it, and here's another place that tells you about it, which is what we're looking at right here. And this thing said someone's going to adapt something, but I have no idea what this is about. We do have that right there though. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I'll just leave a link to it if you're interested, and we'll leave that as it is. And I did a little search as well, and I see that from what we were doing today, I have done this before, right? And so we refer back. It was previously mentioned here, and here we are. And so in this, I think I put too much information into the prompt, and some of it may conflict with other parts of it. So I'm going to make it simpler. But I'm still leaving a whole bunch of artists in here, I think. So we're going to try that, and we're going to experiment with that again today. And I've already uploaded that image before, but it's not the full image. It's not what we have there, Futures Magic 6 or whatever, or Magiques. It's not this. It's just a little clipped part of it, which then would not include the full. That would not include the full butterfly, or whatever that is. Okay, I've done a slight bit of an edit to the prompt here as a starting place, and here we will be able to get started. Okay, so we're going to try that, and of course we're going to also reference the image too, the little image, or we can use the full one. I'm going to use the little image, so I've already uploaded that small image, which is just a little clip, right? So I just have to put that link in there, Normally you'd have the full link, which is like this, but once you've added it to a prompt and imagined it, it became this short one here. So anyway, that's the beginning of the thing right there. And I could describe it in different ways, and we could ask ChatGPT to rewrite it differently for us as well, in different ways. But it doesn't matter. We're not going into that now. That could be for another time. We could also experiment with it with different styles or artists. Here I've got a big list of artists. Okay, but this is just as an aside for fun that we're trying there. It's already doing it. Well, it's in turbo. Okay, but we'll leave it in fast mode, which is the normal mode. And what we want to do, and remember, we can change this character. So basically, if we take a look, if we like that, we can say, well, give me more variety, right? Or we can, if we change the chaos level or the stylize, we can experiment with that. So we could just try the same. If you want to try this with different aspect ratios, you'll get different content as well. You can see what, this is my little clip. That's the thing that I uploaded into there, right? It's just this. And if you look at the image here, this is the full one from the website with the source that we have a link to, and you can see that it's just a photo of something, I mean, in a book or something, comic book illustration. Okay, so if you want, you can use the full image, but what we're going to do is we're going to continue looking through here. I'm going to choose one, and then we may bring it up to date. We're not going to do a face swap, but we might do that in the future. We're already here, right? So this is how far we got. We'll continue through, but in the background we're going to have this generating more of these. So if we use we could have random values of chaos and stylize and have that come up with each prompt, or we can just put, if we just want more of the same, and have it explore like this, and you can see the divergence between them, which is the chaos level. That's how different these are from each other. So if we want to increase that, increase the chaos level. If you want to decrease it, lower it down, right? So if we want to just put the same prompt in multiple times, we can, and we will. And I'll do that and just use the repeat command to do so. So I'll get it to do it 10 times. So we'll just imagine this and add in repeat space 10. And then you'll have to say yes. And you cannot do that in relax mode. If we want to use relax mode and give it this prompt 10 times, you'd have to go in and do imagine, right? And just paste the prompt in and hit enter. You'd have to just do that 10 times. Now you could also do that with different variations each time. That's part of the power of that. But using repeat, it means that it will do this behind the scenes, so we'll have more variety to check out when we come back. Alright, so now if we look through these, we can just take a look through, and then we'll choose one, and I'm just going to say that it looks something that looks like her with the orange shirt on, but it doesn't have to be shiny or whatever. It's just going to be an orange shirt, right? And the headphones as well. Because as I told her, I made art I made art like that kind of randomly, although I did ask for the gold or the orange. And this is this thing here, by the way, with the motorcycle or something, some kind of handlebars. So remember, these things are a variation from when we go way back and look at day 9, which we did. So it's something from this. So say like this one. Actually, there's multiple ones which I may have based it on from back there. Okay, I've actually closed the wrong thing there, not the, I meant to close this, right? So it could be from this, it could be from that, which is also good. Okay, alright, so anyway, so then we'll go and continue there, from wherever we left off. Yeah, so it got the handlebars showing up here, so that's right after this one, right? Okay. So yeah, it's kind of funny. It just happens randomly, I think. I don't think I asked for that. And yeah, you can see strangeness. If you zoom in close, you'll see it. All right, but these things become a lot better. We want to have the eyes not look creepy, right? We want it to actually be good, and we'll be able to do that, right, by bringing it up to date. See the strange eyes, right, over and over. It's a work in progress, right? Yeah, this is the shiny gold clothing, right? Okay, and so orange, there we go. So this is one of them, and the headphones are kind of strange on this one here. Okay, and then we have another one somewhere in here, which is the one where I edited and took off the headphones. It's something else. Yeah, see, there's little headphones on this one too. Yeah, this is that one. This is a kind of swimsuit. Actually, in the lower part of it, you'll see as it comes down like this, right there and there, right. So we may not use that one, or we may just zoom in. If we kind of, you're right, if we just crop it, then you won't be able to see this part here. So if we do this, yeah, then you can't tell, or you know, from the part above this, I guess. If we do that, that can work. But we don't want this little white thing, right? So we'll try bringing it up to date, and we can say make the headphones black or gray or something. So maybe we'll just use that one. I mean, I did already select that before and do my edit to remove the headphones. We won't have them removed now because because she actually has headphones on in doing the activations, but when I created this stuff, I did not ask for headphones. Those just started to appear for whatever reason, and they're not on every single one of them, right? So you'll see that here. Okay, and I was trying to make Space Babes, and there's something you'll see in the prompt. Let's see, you can see something. If you go back to the day 9, you'll also see, if you look at how did I make these, and what is the prompt. Well, I don't know if I even made this one, but I did make these others, right? So if you go back to that prompt, you might see that it's some kind of Swedish princess or something in the future, right? Okay, and oh, how did that happen again? Okay, I thought I was closing this one, but I actually closed this one. That's okay though, because it doesn't take long. We weren't this far along yet, right? So it would have been before that. I know we saw this one. It's going to be some time after that. I got to get rid of the film strip, whatever that is. Okay, yeah, so we saw this. So yeah, that reminded me of it, and you'll see that it's actually in the prompt that we're using too here. It says right here, Babe is it's a beautiful, very lovely, slightly curvaceous, futuristic, year 2465 Swedish princess goddess, right? And we have the intricate, ornate costume. And then in these other ones, we may have said something about orange, shiny orange, or whatever. Okay. All right, yeah, there's another one. I don't exactly want to use this image here, but it should look similar. The headphones aren't really on the ears properly in this one, and we can ignore these others. There's going to be a few other different things in here like this. All right, yeah, this is one of them, but not really, doesn't really have the headphones. Different style thing here too. Okay, another one of the shiny gold swimsuit things, and then this is supposed to be something else. Right, here's another one of them, huge headphones. Okay, and then of course you can see some kind of similarity here from what we're doing way back near the beginning, which then evolve potentially into Space Babes, right? And they can be also Space Babes across the cosmos and in other parallel universes too. So there's a lot of spin-offs that can be created in the future. We're talking NFT collections. So I'm not going to use this art from back here like directly, right? But we're going to have better stuff, right, which we base it on. So these are pretty good, right? But then if you look closely at the face or the eyes, you'll see it needs quite a bit of work, right? Right, there's headphones here too, I believe. And this is something else, and you'll see other ones like this too, like these here. And this is a huge sickle or some kind of scimitar or something. Okay, this obviously, I think this is a swimsuit here, which is gold and shiny, which is kind of what it was meant to be, or what was asked for. Okay, that's another one of them, right? But you can see that the face is too different. It doesn't look like her. Right. Yeah. Right, so it goes back and forth between a few things here, so that makes it harder to do, because we're not just seeing the variations of this style painting, we're also seeing these other ones, which are similar to something you'll see later on with the, yeah, and see how this is similar to back here, right? It may be based on something from way back there, and it may have referenced it. Right, so anyway, we can skip all that. There's another one, another variation. You can see that the style of each one is different. Right, it's a different one there. Some kind of strange headphones. we can bring them up to date, so it doesn't matter too much which one we actually select to do this experiment with. I'm not sure what's going on in this part in here. It's probably just a variation of the other. It's probably just skin in between. This may be a swimsuit in the middle, and then a kind of shirt thing or whatever around it. Okay, there, see another one. And yeah, you can see the edge here, so this is a swimsuit also. Okay, and then this silly bike, right? Different variation of it. Yeah, and of course they're variations of a similar one over and over, right? And but they're alternating. So that was going wide instead of deep, which is what was happening. I kind of like this one. Oh yeah, a very strange look. That's obviously a creepy one, right? Alright, and here we have another. Okay, here's another one. Yeah, we just paused for my dad coughing up his lungs and potentially dying. No, he's still alive, don't worry. He's going to tell stories at the library. He made jokes about dying, though. Well, he was saying, actually, if you're still alive, right, come and see me. And if I'm still alive too, right, I will read stories to you at the library on October 19th at 5 p.m. Okay. Yeah, so we got to ignore these other ones, right? Because that's not what we're talking about. If it's not in the, yeah, see, like this, right? We're ignoring the other ones here. This is funny. I think you might see a couple, right? You might see a couple like this that are a different style using. I brought Lewis Wayne into it, who drew cats. You'll actually kind of see a different art style for a couple here. Yeah, these two, right? So when you take a look at those compared to the ones that you have been seeing, you'll see that it is a completely different style, and that's funny. And also this one too, and there's some alien, I think there's some kind of alien creatures around her in here also, and this is obviously a gold colored thing. Okay, and then back to the normal stuff, but these aren't the ones that we're talking about. It's the same thing. It's another thing, kind of like with the flowers, the jungle, and like a pyramid, but it's doing it differently, right, with different style and the Art Nouveau, right? So we see a few of those things, but that's not what we're talking about. Yeah, see, like this, the red-headed thing, whatever, yada yada, and the intricate ornate costume that's gold, and the pyramid in the jungle. But we're ignoring those, right? See, there's different variations of it, because that's not what we're talking about. So there won't be any more after that, right? Okay. Yeah, because that's the end of it, is when we get to those four. But there's actually a few more there, but then none of those are actually of the orange thing with the headphones, right? This is just another one like in the jungle, but it's different. It doesn't have the it's nice in this area though, but it's not like these, what's it called? Yeah, these yeah, so it's similar to these other ones here, but you don't actually see a pyramid, right? So when we get to this right here, it's where it doesn't show it, right? And that's another one, but doesn't have the pyramid for some reason way back there. It's like these things I was doing there. These are all variations of a similar thing, right? Though, I mean, these four are there. Okay, so yeah, we have something else. Yeah, we have another one. This is like the one over, what is it? This, right? It's like this, and that is pretty much it. There's a kind of mountain behind there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so from that, if we can remember them, actually I gotta, I'll be back in a second. Alright, so obviously we can't remember all of them, but there's a few in here. There's a couple of them up there. Yeah, I wouldn't choose that one there. But if we go back to what we did originally, and this is the one I edited, so we can just use that, and then we'll just bring that one up to date, and maybe just cut. We can zoom in a bit and take off the bottom part of it. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, because this was one of the favorites, and which I edited the headphones off, but we'll leave them on, right? Okay, and then there's also those red ones, but we're going to ignore those. We're focusing on the orange idea. Okay, that's a different one, but I would do this. So we're gonna work with this one here, which was a favorite, but we're gonna bring it up to date, right? So we're just gonna grab the job ID from that, and then go to that, and then we'll find out when I actually made this. So you just go to Midjourney. Midjourney.com/app/jobs/ and paste in the job ID, and then you'll see a page about that one there. And the side here is these, yeah, these, when I just generate these illustrations using that same prompt about 10 times. So we've already did it once, then I put it in repeat 10, then I put the prompt in again. That makes a total of 12. So we actually have 12 of those there. But you can look at them on the you can just look at them on the profile. Okay, so now you can see when we created this. This is the prompt I had, November 25th, right? But I started in September, so it was a couple months in. October, November, yeah, so 2.5 months in to it. And this one was actually based on this one right there, which you also saw, which has a pyramid in the background too, and also has the intricate ornate costume or whatever there. Yeah, see, with black hair, wearing a shiny golden intricate and ornate costume, right? Right, so it actually referenced this one here with the pyramid, and we don't know what the job ID is. There is this, but that could be the job ID of the parent, which doesn't matter. And then this would be number 2 of it because of that one right there. This would be the number 2 if you were to go to that one, but that doesn't matter because we don't need that. So that's just the image prompt. So it means that in the prompt, like at the beginning of it, like we did here, all these are, they're kind of showing up like this because we showed that the character, well, we'll click on that link, right? That's the image I uploaded quite a while ago. It's because we are referencing that image there. Okay, so that's the base image, and then this is what we get. So that's a demonstration. You can see how she's sitting there, but then you'd have to say, you could say what age the person is or whatever, because it seems to be drawing kind of young ones, right? You just have to tell it what it should be. It doesn't say the age. See, yeah, it just says this, right? So it's not specific on the age of the person. It just says that it's in the future at 2465. Okay, this is good right here though. This one here, depending what you want to create, right? And so you can look through like this and just click on each one, and the other way is to do that on your profile. So we would go to grids, not upscales, and it'll be the newest ones, the grids, and then you'll see them all there. So this way, if you look at it, you can see what it created, and you can see if one of them stands out, and then you could just upscale that one or do variations of it if you want to develop that further. Like this one right here. Okay, and then I'm basically, then while I was thinking about this, I was kind of saying, well, but then there's something wrong with her legs, right? She's combined with this thing, goes into it, or it's a vehicle which she gets into in the cockpit, maybe, I'm not sure. Like maybe in this, maybe that is inside this thing and riding it, right? Not sure what's going on there. And then here you can see the legs on the character, right? So anyway, just take a look, but we'll leave this probably for another time, right? Here's another one. It's not really riding on this creature, maybe. I mean, there's part of this is down here, there's that creature behind. This one's sitting on something, I don't know what this is, and then you can see, I think there's kind of people in here, there's different stuff, right? Maybe they aren't people, they kind of look like it though, which makes this one a giant, right? And then yeah, you can see other people and characters in here, where I don't know where it's getting that from. I mean, this is what I put into it, but see, it may be misinterpreting what it's seeing here, right? Yeah, so you're seeing quite a few different characters in here also. Okay, so yeah, we're going to leave that one though for another time because it's basically an aside. You can see this one's sitting on top of this thing. Oh yeah, there's 2 people, not just one. Okay, but anyway, we're just going to kind of leave that for another time and go back to our thing, which we will have to, we're going to bring the one up to date, right? So we want to just go here, and then we will go open in Discord. Okay, so this was just from doing, just from underneath the image, go to the ... open in Discord. That was how that got there. We'll just reload this here. or whatever this. Okay, so here we are. So a couple things we can try. Well, there's a lot of things we can try here, but if I just do variations, we'll see what happens. This is going back, so this is showing what I was actually. No, it isn't showing what I was actually doing back then at that time. Absolutely not. This is a different idea, bringing the space babes in to a scene where I actually live, taking that based on a photo. It's Remix Adventure #1, and bringing the superheroes in, and then those that then turned into something else in the future, where they have where the superhero flies over a field of giant flowers. But this was back from the day of Remix #1, as I was saying, turning it into a alien purple sky, starting with a photo of, which may be this thing here. Actually, I meant to click on that, but starting with a photo from where I actually live, and this makes it look better because the sky, I wanted to make the sky bluer because this is just the photo I started with here. Right, so because I just took this up on the hill and I was hiking up there, and the rock and the scree slope starts up here, but this is where we go from the trail in the forest and then go up a little bit, and then kind of the beginning of the slope, and there was snow. So then I said to make it into like a purple sky and stuff in the future. But anyway, so actually that's what I was doing, right? Remix 1, but Remix Adventure 1. But this thing was just brought in here. It actually wasn't what I made back then, because you notice there's nothing else around it like it. That's because when these were created was actually a longer time ago, as it shows here. November 25th, 2022. If you look at this, there's no date here. Well, but if you look at, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's March, right? So March 10th. So this is what I was doing. So when I did Remix Adventure 1, that's March 10th, right, in the evening. This is from before. It's in November. And so for some reason when we go here, open in Discord, it jumped because I brought this in later by going show me that job ID. So you can go like this, copy job ID. If you go into here, and then well, we have to get rid of this. That's what happened when I hit remix. So anyway, when we go show and hit tab and then type in the job ID, paste it, enter, then it's going to show that one again, and now it will jump up to today, right? Just like how back then when I did that on March 10th, it jumped into that's when I must have made it show this thing for some reason. And who knows what I did, right? Maybe I clicked this button. We tried clicking that today, didn't frickin' work. You can hit escape to jump down to the bottom here, or tap it a couple times, or scroll down, but that takes longer. So here we are, and yeah, I tried to make variations, doesn't work. We could maybe do a region, but we have to take off this part here because it's not allowed. But in the past it would have been creative. Yeah, test or test P. P is the photographical. That doesn't matter though, because it's an older version of Midjourney. So this, we're referencing that image. We already know what that is. That doesn't matter. And that's this one here, which we showed down there, right? But what we want to do, we can't do variation. Well, we can if we take this part out, right? I'm not sure if I have remix mode on or not. This isn't going to show me like this because it's just going to toggle it. So I'll go into settings and then we'll just see if it's on or not. There. So remix mode is on right now, so that's good because when I do a variation, I can then edit the prompt at that moment. So then we'll just take away the test P and creative there. So test was to use a new version of the. Now we can also use turbo here, and you could, because we have settings, we can just click turbo right there. Fast is the regular mode. Because we're going live, a live demo, then we'll go to turbo mode so it's quicker, so we don't waste time. Because it takes about a minute to generate something. In fast mode, it'll be quicker in turbo. Yeah, and also you'll notice that we just already did this, right? And it was in fast mode, so it doesn't affect that job, any jobs we already put in. It just means that now it's on turbo, so it affects future jobs. Now it does say here 2197. Is that what we asked for here? Well, that is, yeah, because this is the same prompt, right? Space pirate. Okay, so stunning. Okay, Low angle, that means looking, the camera is looking up at her instead of looking down on her or vertically or horizontally across. Low angle means from a lower angle looking up. Medium shot portrait, stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, extremely lovely, slightly curvaceous, futuristic, year 2197, space pirate. Now the dashes, when I actually enter it in, it doesn't have a space. See, V-Ray, it was just V-Ray, no spaces. Same here. Space pirate, princess goddess cosplay, which is a costume play by young adult Demi Rose Mobby, with beautiful face and eyes, symmetrical, yada yada yada. Right, then it goes more specific. Shiny, golden, intricate, and ornate costume. Eyes, see, give it some engagement and some emotion in the face and the eyes, which it says there. Okay, so now we'll see. Yeah, anyway, so when you look at this thing that we tried today, this other thing, you can see it's something slightly different. See here, year 2465, Swedish princess goddess babe with natural blonde hair. If the collars and cuff match, right? This is natural. Okay, so now what we want to see is this here. So this, now I don't know which version of Midjourney it's using to create this, right? Because we just did a variation from back there, but this is done in an earlier version. It does not say which version it's made in, but it was done in version 3, but then it was test P and creative, and this thing is, the creative part makes it more artistic and creative. But this is an old thing, you don't need that anymore. And it was, so because of the test or test P, it uses the new version. A beta thing from version 3, which means it used a different algorithm, which may have become version 4, right? So when we go back to an old one, just like what I did when I had these things here, right? And I hit remaster on one of these, and then as I showed you, it turned into the other ones, right? 17, 18, 19 or whatever, and just for fun energy. It's completely different, but that was an update of it or whatever, like in version 5 or 5.2. Okay, so just like we're doing that, we're kind of doing that again here. What would happen if we do a region? We might be able to do that, although we can do that on one of the later ones. And yeah, well, we're using the latest version, latest model of Midjourney, right? 5.2. So this is what we're getting, right? So, and that was, I took off test P and creative because we had to, but we're using the exact same prompt as before. With no change except for test P and creative. So this is what we got. It kind of basically works, right? So this may work right here, and I can pick one that looks more like her. Which color hair should I use here? Black, brown. I'll look at a reference image and then come back, and then we're not going to guide it by actually referencing an image, although we could, but I would ask for permission, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to simply look at it myself and then use that as a guide as I go through these. Okay, so what if we just do this again, right? What if we just re-roll it? Well, then we'll get more like this. Okay, well, but I could also edit it. Okay, well, let's see how we can... we don't need it to still be referenced in the image, right? Well, which image? Well, you know, the one that this references here. We don't have that up anymore. Yeah, that is. This is this one here. Okay, well, we don't have to reference this image, right? It could simply be making variations of this from here. It doesn't need to reference this anymore. Totally, right? It's nothing to do with it. Okay, so that answers one question. So what we're doing now, is not this space babe thing. That's a different thing. It's an aside. It's an experiment. We're not doing that now. We mentioned it in the video, but it's not what we're focused on. It was an aside, and I showed you some of those things over here, actually in here, right? But we're moving on from those. We don't need that. So this is the prompt, but we're not going to reference the image anymore. This is the one that we're making a variation from, right? And so we have this prompt, but I'm just going to be changing it. Well, yeah, you got the full one here. Copy, full command. This is what it was, but I'm taking away that image reference there, right? And then I'm editing it to be a different color. So now it also specifies a certain person here, but you don't need that right there, right? You don't necessarily need that, but it's guiding it based on that there. Yeah, so we got the black hair. Okay, shiny, golden, intricate, and ornate costume. And we could change that, right? We could say that it's an orange shirt over a white over another white shirt. Here's the, oh yeah, well, we're gonna put this in here, so we can't really see them, but not that it matters. So black, it's not really black, it's more of just dark brown hair. So I'll just say very dark. Okay, and long. So long and very dark brown hair, or very dark brown long hair, I guess. It doesn't matter either way, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're just basically doing that, and it doesn't actually have anything to do with the background. If you look at what we've created, yeah, it doesn't show that background anyway, right? Because it's talking about this, which is from the same thing. It's from what we were doing back here and creating these, but it doesn't create that, right? You can see visually that's not what it is. Not that it matters. So this part also is not relevant unless you want it to be there, or unless you want, depending on what background you do want it to have. But it's more, let's just say it's some kind of space background or in a space station or something like that. Okay, so background is interior space station. Okay, we already said the year here. That's the year that it's set in, 2197. Okay, now I don't know about the rest of it, if we should still leave that stuff or take it out. We say this is what we're creating. I'm going to say that we want it to be stunning, world-class, professional painting or digital art, digital painting. Okay, art by these ones right here. So all these artists, actually just a few, right? And we have the same description. And here with the clothes, you could say the orange shirt over a white shirt, but we can also just leave it the way it is, and it's just making a variation from what we had there. Okay, and this in the background, the space station, photorealistic, real life, high clarity, whatever. You can say it's intricate. You could say it's very highly intricate. What do we have here? Yeah, high clarity, high sharpness, focus, photorealistic. It says that twice there. Okay, so that's the style of art we want. Well, it'll do that naturally anyway, depending on which style you want. But the photorealistic thing is basically the default, and then if you want an illustration or something, that's going to be different, or a comic illustration, painting, or whatever else you wanted. That's the medium. And the style here is influenced by that. It's professional art by this list of artists. Okay, so I'm probably going to take out some of these things. Okay, there's a whole bunch of these things in here for making it very realistic, and there's one for it being photo, like a photo, and another thing about that right there as well. Okay. Okay. You got trending on ArtStation in there too. I don't know, we can experiment with it, whether you have that in or not. So anyway, we could just generate the prompts with a Python program or an Excel spreadsheet, and then have different things turn on or off. You could have multivariable testing. Different things could randomly turn on or off, and then we just try all those prompts, right? And then when we're looking at the outputs, we can assess them visually, which ones we like best, and just do variations of those. We don't even have to care which one we actually ended up using of which inputs. But if you want to learn, you would have to test one versus the other. And then also from the ones that we end up creating, we can then trace back how did we make it in the future, and learn from that as well. Okay, and then you can see, I was saying like I want it to be perfect and highly polished, clean, beautiful, inspiring atmosphere, whatever. It's got a feeling to it after. So that stuff there is kind of important, but I don't know if this I don't know if this stuff actually affects it like that. Talking about the style, yeah. So maybe we can though, right? So what if we were to put that in there about the style? So it's perfectionist art, right? It's highly polished, it's clean, it's also photorealistic, and it's digital art, and also by these artists all combined together to give it a style. All right, and so we don't need to have all this other stuff here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to say like hyper intricate, hyper, well, we already said it's photorealistic, right? You could say that it's hyper realistic or detailed, right? And also clear too. So here we have high clarity right there. Yeah, or focus, sharp focus. Okay, so I think that might be what we do for the style. There's also this feeling, see? So we want to have that in there too. Okay, so you notice I've removed some of this that I'm saying we don't really need, and we don't really know if this affects it or not, or whether it's in there or not. You can also have winner, right? Award, some award-winning thing, or it wins. This says trending on ArtStation, but there was another keyword that was often used. I don't remember what that was. We don't need it right now, and doesn't matter. Okay, so that's our prompt. Okay, and so then we would just put that in here. So I'm just doing a remix, right? I'm doing a variation from it. I hit the re-roll there, and so it's doing a remix of this one, and we took away that part, right? And we're putting a different prompt in. So you can do it again if you want. If we do a remaster, this is going from whatever it was, like version 3, but but we used test P and creative, and so because we were using test or test P, then it goes from version 3 to that other one, an experimental algorithm, which may have become version 4, right? I don't know. But if we go back to these, like I tried with the pyramid before, I found out it doesn't just do it and use that other remaster, that other algorithm that we had back then. Instead, it uses the latest algorithm now, which would be 5.2. So you'll see the same thing here if we remaster this. Now, because remix mode is on, we can edit the prompt, right? Well, it didn't give us the option. So now it's going to try to remaster it. But then if it doesn't work, it may be because it says this, which it won't accept in a later version, but which it did allow back then, because that's what we were doing. You could have this or not. You could start with, if you go into version 3, I don't know if you can still use this in version 3 or not. We'd have to try that, right? Because then yeah, we just have to try it. We don't know. And so here, when I click that, it didn't give us the option to edit the prompt, but in remix mode. But it does when you do make variations, and the same thing happens if you re-roll one of these. So anyway, we've done it again. We're in turbo mode, so you can see some more here. Also, I'm editing the prompt, so it's probably shorter. Oops, it's probably shorter here. Plus, we have very dark brown long hair, or maybe long, very dark brown hair. And I have a couple edits, right? So this is what we're getting now. All right, there's a few little like sparkle dot things, these little bright dots in here. I'm not sure what they're doing. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So this thing was supposed to be a kind of a shirt thing. This may work here. Maybe that one on this one here. Yeah, this one could work probably. I'll upscale this one right here. Yeah, so it's supposed to be a white shirt underneath, but if that's what we want, we have to tell it what we want. We have to specify it. If you don't specify, you're not going to get, it's just random, right? You see how it just randomizes everything we don't specify. This is what I was getting before. This is with the prompt kind of the way it was, and still referencing that other strange one, which we don't need to keep looking at, with a pyramid in the background. So that's what we did first, right? This is what we got from that. But the next time I took out that image, and you can still see a white thing underneath here, but not every time, like not here. And here there's something blue, but in this one you get the white. Okay, but this isn't what it's supposed to look like either. Not that it matters, right? And then here we've taken out that reference, that image. We've also edited all this. Remember, I took out a bunch of crap that we don't need, which is in here, right? So that's what we've done. And you'll also notice that it's changing more as well. Take a look at the next one. I'm not sure why we're getting, yeah, that's because I remastered. Okay, so see, it brought it up to date, it automatically did it, and it worked, and it took away test P and creative. So this is when we had this one, we hit remaster. There was no way to edit the prompt when we did that, and that's why it's blue instead of green. And even in remix mode, right, it didn't give us the option. So here's what we get. So you'll see that it brings it up to date with 5.2. These ones are also, though, they should be 5.2 too. Notice it doesn't mention the version. but I believe it's using version 5.2, because if you look at it, I don't think that it's using version 3. If you go back to version 3 and you yeah, well, if I think what we have to do is go to settings to change that. Well, you can also override the version in the prompt right at the end of it with a parameter, but here we'll go back to version 3. So if we do that, we've changed it. You can see here, suffix version 3, that is added in at the end of your prompt. If we go back and we try to do this again, right, so we're using our prompt, we're doing a variation of this thing. It's a remix. We're varying this actual image that you can see there, right there, and we want a different prompt in there, which is this. So I select all, Control A and Control V to paste and submit it. And oh, yeah, except that it didn't say version 3 there though, right? You might have to actually type that in, I'm not sure. Take a look. When you go make variations, look at this, go down to the bottom, doesn't say version 3. See, doesn't say that there. So it probably doesn't matter, because when I paste this in, we're going to get the same thing anyway. If we override it, say we go Niji 5, then it's going to use the anime version of Midjourney, the version 5 of that, because you got Niji 4 or 5, and if you're in, I think Niji 5 or whatever, there's other ones like Style, Expressive, and all that stuff. But yeah, here we're just doing that as an experiment. So you should get a version 3 one from that, because we're in version 3, and notice that it doesn't automatically type it in here, but it will add it because it tells us that it's going to, because we're in version 3, and right here it says that right there. So let's see what happens, and then we'll go back to this also. So you can see Niji 5 here generating, so this one here should be version 3, but it doesn't look like it to me. Has it just not done it yet, or because there's a Niji 5, right? Does it work? So it's supposed to be an anime version, and yeah, they look different, so there's something different about this than what we had elsewhere. And then what's this? Well, to me it doesn't look like version 3, but I don't know. I thought it would not be so clear, right? There's a kind of headphones and gold. The headphones are also gold here, right? Okay. Alright. Trying to figure that out. Let's see here. Go back. This is one of the ones we upscaled. This is something else. This is when I remastered. So that's when we can click like this. So this is what we got. Click on this thing up here. Takes you back to the parent. Yeah, so we remastered this, and this is what we got. Let's take a look there. So it's bringing it up to date, right? So using the same prompt, there's a kind of castle thing behind her here in this one, something else in that one, inside a building maybe in this one, and maybe in a town in this one. And you can see out through that window to other things outside it. Okay, not that that really matters. This is pretty interesting clothing here, right? Shiny gold stuff. Maybe a breastplate or something, or some kind of armor. Okay, and there aren't really headphones, but these will keep evolving, right? Because when we do this, we can do a variation of any of these. We can also stop referencing that image, right? And if we want, we can even reference this image instead of referencing this image, because this is what this was based on. But once this exists, you can reference this if you want instead of that. What if we were to base it on this, but then you take away the very bottom part? Well, I like it personally, but if you were to just move the bottom up here and just cut off right there, you could basically save this, copy it, like just upload an image like that with that part of it, and then it will base it on that, right? Okay. So let's see. So using version 5.2 with this prompt, but this is the old prompt. See, it's not my latest prompt. We can also, if we just imagine the prompt, that's another way to do it, right? If we use this, we'll see what it does. Now, it will depend on whether we reference an image or not. That's just imagining that prompt straight, but that's in version 3. So let's bring it back up to date. Settings, right? We'll go to the latest version. Okay, so we'll see what it actually does in version 3 there. That'll be a little interesting because I haven't done that for a really long time, right? It's old. Here we're using the same prompt again, but now we're in version 5.2. Notice it doesn't mention it because it's just the latest version. But if we do the same thing, but we reference the image, here we have the image, right? Remember, we're on the website. This is here. So if I just kind of right click and go copy image address, then I can add that in at the beginning of the prompt, because that's where we put them, is at the beginning. But then notice that the link there said WebP. It didn't say PNG. And this image is a little blurry. And so I'll just reload this page. Then when this shows up, now I already have this image though, because it's right here. Well, actually that's an edited version of it. If you want to use that, you can, but we didn't need to get rid of the headphones, so we'll leave them on. And then you have to basically find that one again. We have other ones here too, right? But you have to find the specific one. Yeah, you have to find, this is a different one over here, but I don't think she really has headphones on. Yeah, I like this one. Okay, it's not really orange though, it's red. And you could have stained glass behind, but any one of these are a good starting place for more development. Okay, here, let's see here. Go back here. Right, so where did we get this orange one? This is a different one that's another variation of it, so it's probably pretty close to this one here. Yeah, that's it right there. Right, so see, I already have this image anyway. You can just drag it in. You can upload it again. We can also show that just to make the thing more complete, but I won't do that. Basically, you just drag it in. I'll show you that. You do that, but we're not gonna do that. You go like that, you drag it in, then you hit enter. It'll upload this. Okay, we're not doing that. Yeah, so this is what we would normally see. It is version 3. Once you then remaster it, it would have used that new algorithm. It used the latest thing. But now the latest thing is version 5.2, so it's something else. If you try that, we can't use that test or test P thing in here. I don't think we can do that anymore, but you could before. So if you try this, you had to do multiple steps. Say we upscale number, it literally doesn't matter. I'll just do number 4. I was thinking 3, but let's just upscale 4. So then after it does this, you would then need to remaster it. But then it's just going to use the latest version, because that's what remaster does. Back then, it used the latest version which it had, which was there was no version 4, right? It was in version 3. And when you remaster, it used this beta thing, this other algorithm, which I don't know. Maybe that became version 4, right? So we don't know that. But when we try it, as I've experimented with today, you see that when you remaster, you get the latest version. That's what happened here. That's the evidence of it. Okay. So if we try to, yeah. Okay, see, depending on what we're trying to achieve, right? We may already have it. This is that Niji one, that anime thing. This is when I just imagine the prompt, and I think using version 5.2, right? This is what we got with that. See, not referencing any specific one, but we could actually have it reference the image, which we've also tried, which is what it will show next, right? That's here. So that's when it's referencing this image, but it was as a WebP. Okay, and that's what we got here. If we do the same thing again, which we will do, because I was in the process of doing that, but we had a WebP, but we want the PNG, which you can now see there. So now we'll just do that. So yeah, and this is a parallel experiment here. Okay, so this is what we got in version 5.2, just imagining with the latest prompt, the way that I've rewritten it. Not that, but my new one, right? So using that, this is what we get from it. You know, you can be more specific, but you can see the color of the hair here. It's not the same, black or dark brown, right? And then here we have more of a lighter brown, a different brown there that's not as dark as what you get here, unless you call this black, right? But it's obviously different. But anyway, depending on how you specify it, right? Everything's going to be random that you don't specify. And so this is with the image, right? That's with the image. We're referencing that, and you get the headphones on, right? And the orange. And we probably want to say, let's just because of, I mean, you can make it like this, right? But then it can be a bit naughty because it's like that's the only thing that she's wearing, right? But if you use the if you say there's a white shirt underneath and then an orange thing over top, right, then it can be more like like my reference image, which I'm not showing you, right? It's a reference image which I'm not inputting into the system, right? Okay, so here we have, when we use version 3, we upscale that one. There you see what I mean, right? It needs remixing. If you go to the later version, unless you just want a kind of painting style thing, but when you want to make it better, like what I was doing with the early stuff, for when I tried this, I tried to go back, and that's how I found out that when you go back to version 3, I was making something with Alicia Rep jumping or diving into a cenote. We could do that in version 3 because before version 4 there's no image, there's no filter on the images that you put in, like this link here. But in version 4 or 5, anything newer, it has it, right? So because she's in a swimsuit, it would not allow it, right? And it's also the jet ski babe one too. So anyway, I went back to version 3, we get something, but then we want to remaster it, and then when we do, okay, it's got different ways of upscaling too. You can try those and you'll get a different result, because we upscaled from this to that, but you could do it with a light upscale instead of the regular upscale, or like a beta upscale, and it does it differently. But if we just remaster, we don't even have a way to edit the prompt, right? So now it's just going to use the latest version. It won't use what we were used to getting back, as I said, in version 3. I found that out when I was trying this for the Alicia Rep diving in the cenote thing, and so then it ended up not working. But it might be able to work because we could be creating this in version 3, get to a certain thing, right, do variations or whatever, but they're just sketches, see, they're just approximations, as you can see here. But what we can do in that process is remove the link in the beginning, right, that reference to an image. So if that image is not allowed in version 4 or 5 or whatever, but it was okay back in version 3, then we can create something, maybe, then we can remove the image by doing a variation. It's a remix, right, remix mode on, so you go variations. If we then remove the link, we continue on, we can do however many iterations we want at that point, and then we can try a remaster from an image that's here with its text prompt that has no images in it, right? And that's something I can try, right? It's just a theory. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't. We'll try it, because it depends. If it then says, oh, I don't like what's actually in this image, because when we remaster, it'll come up to version 5.2, whatever's the latest version. If it then doesn't like what's in there and doesn't allow it, we'll find that out. But maybe it won't matter, because we're not referencing any images, right? So we'll see what happens with that idea in the future. Another video, I'll show you that. But we may not need to do that, right? We may try that experiment. It doesn't take long for me to try that, because I just have to take the link off while I'm doing that when I go back to what I was trying, the Alicia Rep example. But the other thing is, we could just try using Leonardo instead, and we could also try PromptChan, which would then allow anything, but I'd probably have to pay it in order to reference an image like we're doing here, because I think that on the free thing you won't be able to reference an image. So anyway, let's maybe add in the white shirt and the orange shirt over it, and I'll say that it's shiny as well. So we're gonna reference this part here about the clothes. We're gonna just describe them differently, right? So yeah, let's see what happened with this. This is what we're getting for now, but yeah, let's rewrite the prompt a bit and see what we get. So this is a remaster, so that's what ended up happening. Let's see why. Okay, that's from here. This is from, you know, using that prompt, but in version 3. So we got this one here, upscaled that, and then remastered it, and it brings it up to the latest version. So this is what we get. All right, you can see that it is pretty clear, like say in this one here. That's more of a painting style there, and this part here obviously looks like it's painting, but this looks realistic. And in this one, it's pretty realistic. And look outside of this thing, whatever she's inside. Look out through the window, right? There's a lot of detail there, and you could expand that if you want. You can do whatever you want. Expand these spheres here or whatever. So this is what we're getting, and that is kind of dark brown hair or black, right? Okay, and we haven't specified the age of the character, right? Which is also a random variable then, so it's changing. It can always change because we didn't say what it's supposed to be. It just says babe, right? All it says is a babe. No, it doesn't. It says princess goddess cosplay by this character. That's a young adult. That's all. Okay. So now we'll go back to this, and I'm going to edit the prompt differently. So we're making a new version of it now. That was my edit. This is what we had before. This is where it came from. So now we just new edit and then change this clothing here, that part. So it's this costume, shiny gold, intricate and ornate costume. Okay. The golden we can change. It's going to be orange, I guess, if that'll work. It could also be golden. It can be gold and orange, right? But I'll go with that. So shiny orange. I guess I'll go a large and loose shirt over a small shirt underneath, right? Okay. You probably can't say this, right? Because it's going to say, oh, I'm not, this phrase is going to be not allowed, probably. So I'm going to just say that it has a white shirt underneath, or like an undershirt or something like that. So that's the part that's underneath it. Try that. Okay, and this is, now, yeah, if we reference this image, we'll get one thing. If we don't reference it, we'll get another thing. And the way this one was created was referencing something else completely, which we showed before. Okay, so that's the new prompt. Let's see. This is what we got, and I think I may be referencing this image here. Yeah, as you can see, right? So this is what we got when we did that. And we're using the latest version now, right? That's what we should be doing. Okay, and if you look, it's actually zoomed in, and so it's only from chest up to the top of the head. And if you look at this one, it's a different view because it's going farther down to the hips. But this is here, obviously a different view. Okay. Alright, and we do have our description, this part here, of the view or the composition. Now I'll just, yeah, but I imagined it from scratch, right, rather than doing a variation from it. If we do a variation from this, that's why these are laid out the same way, or composed in the same way, because they're a variation from what we had. You can see this white part down here. This can work also. Or that. Okay, so yeah, we can do a variation of this, but there's no headphones. We didn't describe headphones, they just showed up. That was why I said it was funny, because I made that art months ago. I didn't ask for headphones, although I was asking for the shiny gold thing, or orange or whatever color. Then Jay's wearing an orange shirt, which is a little bit shiny, but not as shiny as what we got, I think, in our reference, as you can see here. But it's actually, it was asked for a golden thing, not orange, right? I think. Okay, and that's what it did. And then of course she has the headphones on, but in the art I didn't ask for the headphones, but they happened anyway, right? So that's why in the prompt it doesn't mention headphones, because I never asked for them. But this is what we're getting here. And then this, I mean, this is fine too, right? It's totally, but you don't really have headphones. It's interesting. Maybe we can tell it to add headphones. Maybe we can do a variation from this one. I think it's adding some kind of angel wings there too, which we didn't ask for either. And you know that there's a strange one in here with more of those, like this. I don't know why those are there. Yeah, and if you look at this, well, they're different, right? But back then, a long time ago, we had this. It's a different variation, and you can see the headphones on here too. Okay, so yeah. Let's maybe do a variation of this one here, and we're referencing the image. No, we're not. It doesn't reference it, but we can if we want to. What about the prompt? Well, it's got the space station. It's got the clothes, though, are just that. So we're just going to update it to our latest. And are we going to reference the image or not? Well, you could try one with referencing and one without. It's already a variation of the image itself, which is why it's composed the way it is, because it's a variation from the image. That's how we got here, right? That's how we got to it. It's a variation of this. But if we just imagine it, which we also did, that's not this. It's also a remix. It's a variation of it, right? It's just more options. There's a kind of white thing underneath in this one here, and then something white down there, right? And then here it's kind of this blue colored thing. So okay, I'll just pause for a second and come back, because I'm going to look at my reference image. Obviously this is one of the ones that I liked because we upscaled that earlier. Yeah, from there. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. We can obviously do better, but that doesn't matter, right? here I think we said upscale number 2. This is what we were just looking at. We did a variation of it. Okay, so what if we were to do that and also reference the image? So the prompt is this part here, but we'll add the image into that too, which is this one. Well, we can use that. It's the same thing right here, right? We've already put this in. If you bring this in too, you're mixing them, and it's going to be different. Okay, but we want that here. Just put a space between them usually. Select all, copy. Well, not all, just that part. Select all here, paste. Okay, and we're still in turbo, so we'll just kind of try that. And yeah, so when I just imagine it instead of doing a variation from the thing that we were doing, then the view changed, the composition. So it gives us different options. Doing a variation of it, it kind of stayed on this, but then it depends if you're in high variation mode or low variation mode. So we might want to go to low variation mode and go from a variation of this. You can also reference the image itself so that it's similar to it, or you don't have to, so depending on what you want. Here we're actually in low variation mode already. That's what we have been in, which means that the changes are more subtle when we do a variation. And here I want the white shirt underneath to be smaller. It shouldn't be going all the way up like that. It's a different kind of shirt. Okay. Here there's nothing underneath them, and it doesn't matter either way, right? It just doesn't matter. This one we were going to do a variation from. Yeah, there shouldn't be this, like the red cheeks like that with makeup. That should not be added on. That one's fine. This is good too, right? It shouldn't have that added to it, which you can see in these two, I think. Okay, and it should actually have headphones, right? So we can describe that too. I've added into the prompt about the white shirt underneath, and then the orange over top. Okay, and we'll mention the headphones, and see when we just imagine the thing and reference that image, this is what we got, and you can see that the composition changes. Here's one from chest up, here's one from waist up, right? So you have whatever you want. We didn't specify which one, but as you can see, that thing is being it's a variable, right? It's being randomized, right? And it's still referencing the image, but doing it as a variation from that image, well, especially in low variation mode, because that's subtle instead of a bigger change, then of course it's going to use the same layout, like the same composition as this. Okay, so depending on what you want, what you want to achieve. Here you can see that this is orange, it's white underneath there, right? But I don't know if we've specified that back then. Not really, not yet, right? It just still has the same thing as before, but later we changed that. So let's see what we're getting now. And we're going to add into the prompt the headphones. Okay, and we can also say that they're black. Alright, and what's this? It's a remix. That's when I did a variation of something and didn't add the link. So this is what we got there. Pretty good. Okay, so here's this orange colored stuff, or golden, right? White down below, which was not mentioned, I don't think. Okay, and then we probably have something else. Yeah, so you can see that they're closer to this thing because we're referencing this image. The other one before it, we didn't reference it. This one's bigger, this one's smaller, right? This one's maybe in between. This is more like it right here. Actually, well, okay, those are both good. Okay, and we could do, we haven't specified the headphones, but let's maybe do a variation of this one here. And we're still referencing that image, which we can do, or we can always remove it. See, if we want, we can just take that out. It depends on whether you want it to continue to be referencing this one or not. Okay, and now what we're changing, this thing is my latest prompt, and it says orange, large and loose shirt over a white undershirt. That's the one underneath. Yeah, so it's talking about this thing here. That's the shirt, and then another one. Okay, so now that, I don't know if we should be saying that this is a tube top, or say that this is a something, I don't remember what it's called. Right. I'm gonna leave it the way it is, but I'm gonna add in the headphones though. Yeah, and this is where we could also play with ChatGPT too if we wanted to. We could start having that, but then the thing is it'll go too long. I'm not even supposed to be making videos that are this long. Yeah, like right now we're just crossing over into the 1.5 hour mark, and I'm not supposed to be doing them over an hour. So we have to actually end this, and then and you can continue if you'd like with part 2. Here we're going to have ChatGPT rewrite a prompt. Here's the existing prompt. We'll put that in there, and we'll say rewrite it so that some change or whatever. So we'll just continue that in the next video.